We're back here at the GSL Codas. Time has been knocked down to the losers match. He'll have to try to redeem himself. Now we go to our other PBT.
Yes, we do. It's going to be Deer against Bunny. It should be a bit closer than that one. But Deer is in very good shape right now. Everyone's been talking about how he is quietly one of the most fierce players on Earth right now. And like his last few seasons weren't like terrible, but they weren't what Deer was hoping for. This guy, like in his prime, he won GSL and he won WCS Championship, and like he was just a killer for a little bit there. He just out of nowhere, he was like, "Hey, I'm the best roundhouse in the world," and he wants that again.
Yeah, well, to suddenly have so much success out of nowhere, and then to not fizzle out, that's a crude way to put it, but to then just get slotted back in with, okay, you're another one of the good Prodosses, but your time might be up. I can only imagine how hungry he really is to win this whole thing, to come back, to redeem himself again.
And a player like Deer, he probably looks at this as like, I want to go to BlizzCon, and it's really hard in the Korean scene to get there, right? Because we're going to have 3 GSL champions, TY, who won Katowice, and then Su's already locked because he just ranks too high all the time.
Yeah.
Innovation is close to getting a lock, I'm pretty sure. Like, so the amount of spots left is very, very low. A lot of these guys like Classic and Deer, they're like, well, damn, Deer might need to win the season. Classic even said he needs to get top 2.
Jesus.
You know, it's getting super tight right now for these guys to make it.
We may have a small delay here. I think there might be something wrong with Bunny's computer. We're going to find out in a minute. Deer clearly, though, ready to go, ready to get this started. I do believe this should be a 2-0 win for Deer.
Oh, you think 2-0? Just straight?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I mean, I could see Bunny taking games here. Like, things can go a little bit sideways in PvT from time to time. You know, like if a Widowmine drop gets in and you just miss it, then suddenly it's like, oh man, you're really quite far behind.
Yeah.
Things can go wrong. But yeah, Deer is, like, I definitely value him over Bunny, but Bunny can beat pretty much everybody. Like, he has a very high skill level.
He's capable of beating everybody. I hate talking like this, but with Bunny, I feel like he's almost like one of the players that's the filler, so that we can have 32 people in a tournament.
Yeah. Like
if GSL was
if Bunny got round of 8, we'd be like, what?
We'd be like, what's going on here? Is this going to keep happening? Because everything we know about all the players in the GSL, we would expect him to get phased out eventually. Yeah. That's why it was so cool when Gumiho actually went all the way to the finals.
Yeah.
Was that
he was filler for a long time.
Yeah, Gumiho was one of these filler players where obviously he's very good, but it's not like when you look at somebody like TY.
Yeah. Well, think of it this way. You're always filler until you're not. Right?
Arfucius.
It's true, though.
Yeah.
When you think about it. It's like you're this guy in the tournament that no one thinks can win until you are the guy that people think can win.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
I mean, maybe Bunny will have this opportunity to now prove himself and be able to get out. But right now, I'm not feeling it. My instincts tell me Deer. And by the way, whatever technical issues there were with Bunny's PC have now been resolved. And we are ready to jump into this best of 3. Another Protoss versus Terran. Deer versus Bunny on the map Odyssey. Woo! Huh. All right, now we're ready. Let's do this. Let's go.
I'm running for the river. You can ride, you can fly, you can tell them that you tried, but there ain't no going back. They'll never catch
me. In the upper left, in the blue, our Protoss player, he is
Deer.
Yeah, let's just look at him for a while. Oh, my God.
In the bottom right, in the red, he is
Bunny.
It's funny, there's like an exact amount of time where you and I are just like, nope, this is too long.
The camera shot took too long.
Whatever you're saying, this is like one of those, like the Duke is coming out and one of those medieval screamers is, you know, like, what was the name of that guy? Chaucer or something? Rapid told me the other day.
Chaucer?
Where like you're like, you know, the long introduction from A Knight's Tale.
Oh, right. Okay, never mind. That's not. Yeah.
Right. That's Chaucer.
Oh God, I actually had to take a class on Chaucer in college. I forget.
Is that actually a real person?
Reed, is Knight's Tale Chaucer? Okay. We're getting confirmation.
Oh,
That is
he
Chaucer.
wrote that.
Yeah.
He wrote a book called Knight's Tale?
Yeah.
Because that's one of my favorite
No,
movies.
no. Reed's saying no. Sorry, guys, we never graduated from college. We don't know what's going on. But ask us about anime. We know. Reed, wait, is it?
We'll ask him later.
He didn't write it, but what?
What is this?
Whoa, hold on a second.
Is he showing that he?
I think it's about
he's showing that he
the
bought
announcer.
Caster Park's announcer pack.
I bought it too.
Did he buy the Tastosis announcer pack? Because
That's
listen, Caster Park announcer pack is really quite good.
Yes.
It's a great
He's
announcer
a great
pack and you
announcer.
should buy it. But the Tastosis announcer pack.
It's a work of art.
Yeah. Well.
Pylon proxied right out here. And it looks like it's going to get spotted by this Reaper, who's going to climb on this log and then go through the tree. Did it look like,
Yeah.
He can go through. It's actually a hollowed out log too. He goes through it.
Well,
The first time it's ever been discovered. It's been this Easter egg in the map for so long.
that would be kind of cool, actually.
Map maker sweating bullets, thinking nobody's ever going to notice it.
Imagine if it was like covered by bushes and you have to be Terran and play, make a Hellion and go over there and burn them down.
Yeah.
Get through that log.
They should have something like that in some of these maps, or if you've just played. I don't know how you do that. I need to talk to somebody who makes maps.
You should be able to chop down trees and hide in the woods.
Yeah.
Have a good boots of speed.
The human should be able
I
to
wanna
cut
play
down
a
a tree and
different
get lumber
game.
as a resource like in Warcraft 3.
I think you should have ghouls that can surround everything. Workers should have more health so you can battle with them more.
I think the Reaper should have Windwalk like a Blade Master.
It does actually, Tastes. If you ever try to surround one of those with your probes.
It's pretty goddamn slippery, man.
Oh my God. Covered in grease, those Reapers.
I soak my Reapers in olive oil. They just slide through everything,
Yeah.
man. So we have the Adept coming over here, takes out that first Marine Canal, puts some pressure on this command center. This should eventually be driven out, but with the Oracle on the way, we'll see if more additional damage can be dealt.
Sick kills. To kill Marine and an SCV and deny mining and stop SCV production. This has been a pretty epic Adept. And all this is allowed because the Reaper was over there attacking a pylon.
Oh, looks like the third base won't be up yet here for Classic.
You know, I want to actually mention this again for people watching at home, right? These are the little things why Deer is better than you, guy in the chat watching at home. The Reaper is like attacking his pylon so he knows where it is, so his first Adept can go across the map. It's like that funny, right? Like you have to chrono boost out an Adept to stop the Reaper from killing probes in your main, but there you have it. I don't know. It's just like these little tiny moves, and he makes so much out of that. Yeah, he didn't get to proxy, but he got other stuff done with it.
It's funny because a lot of times at the pro level, you'll see the same things happening in games, and it looks like, oh, that's what happens at every skill level. And then if you try to do the same thing online, you'll realize there was a bunch of various factors you didn't think about.
Yeah.
And these players have basically set up most of their unit movements and how they queue out their, everything, building placement, to deny a lot of other stuff that could go on.
Yeah, it's really cool when you think about like StarCraft and its complexities, where you can look at these games and be like, yeah, this is kind of like my game is, but once you get really into it, you realize that's not it at all until you're so into it that, you're like hitting that pro level, right, where you suddenly are like, yeah, no, this is what it's like.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's like that Bruce Lee quote, like, a punch is a punch, and then a punch isn't a punch, and then a punch is a punch again and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really
it's
cool
funny,
stuff.
though. It's also interesting to go on that journey on your own.
Yeah.
Till you really feel the game.
Totes.
And how it's going to operate, and how you can then work within that system to try to get a lead or try to beat somebody. By the way, Stim is a little bit under halfway done. We will eventually see Bunny push out. He's going to queue up 2 medevacs in a minute here. By the way, going back to that previous game we saw, that was really cool to see time with the 2 Vikings to come out and then land on the low ground.
Yeah, that was
push.
cool.
That was really interesting.
Like, you generally see a Viking to stop oracles. Like,
Right.
that's pretty common overall. But to see the 2 come out and land for the battle, like TY used to use a single Viking because he'd like chase the oracle and then he'd go land it and attack. But I liked the second Viking in there. That was really neat. I didn't like it when he lifted him off. That was tough. But
yeah, well, he probably should have walked the whole way back.
there's nothing like Phoenix's lifting Vikings to kill him.
I was going to say that's Vikings going into medevac, Certosis.
Yeah. What if there was a reverse what is it even called? The I don't know what the Phoenix ability is called, but like you could make the Phoenix land. Like, get down! And like... Anyways, okay, he actually kills that. That's really nice. And he's hiding the 2 tanks. This is definitely something that Bunny has done a lot in the past. But with 3 mines, this many Marines with Stim +1 combat shields, and 2 siege tanks against just Glaives, you might be able to get something done. Let's see.
Usually in a moment like this, it depends on how much damage the Widow Mines actually do to the Adepts specifically. So let's see. He should be able to set up right in that location over there. Siege up.
Yeah, this is...
And to be honest, the pylons and... is that tank in range of the Nexus, Artosis?
I think they are.
Is it?
I think so.
Okay.
Oh, well, just barely not.
Oh, how
just
funny.
Barely not. It's so close. Oh my God, it's close.
Yeah, I was sure it was, but maybe not. Okay, so he's coming in now, stimming forward here. But again, the pylon cannon's not doing as much damage because they weren't comboed in with the adepts at the same time. Void Ray, though, hitting from above, taking out these 2 tanks, but a Liberator comes in time. I do think, though, that Terran's going to have to give up this position.
The Void Ray flank was just money right there. And Bunny, of course, having to move those siege tanks up just slightly out of range. That bought a lot of time for Deer actually to deal with that. So that attack could have been much better for Bunny, I think. It worked out for Deer, but yeah, that was scary for a moment.
War Prism rotating around. Looks like Deer wants to try and come in there and maybe deny some mining over there at the center right. We also have a Liberator coming up here through the top, probably going to put some pressure on the probes in the main.
He's playing against Void Rays, so the Void Rays definitely can take it down very easily, but if they're out of position, it can still get some damage done. Quite a few Void Rays out at this point. It's interesting to see this strategy popping back up, something that Stats was working on a few months ago, but seeing Deer here, it looks pretty well perfected. Like, I mean, well,
he seems
I don't
to
want to
really
say perfected. That's hyperbole, but I mean, he's doing very well with it so far.
Once again, Terran trying to move around the map. We see Deer expanding at a pretty scary rate. Although I will say I feel like Bunny definitely with a better approach in TVP compared to what we saw with Time. As much as I'm rooting for Time, we see Bunny as a much cleaner Korean Terran that seems to really get the rhythm of a PvT when he can engage, when he has to back up. You think the Void Rays threw Bunny off, by the way, when they came down from above?
Yeah,
I don't think that was a factor in Bunny's mind when that push was starting up.
I think you're probably right. I've seen some top-level Protosses try this strategy, but not even recently. Like, again, like Stats did this in a Lima League like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago or something, but to see it kind of pop up here and just kill those 2 siege tanks out of nowhere, I think that definitely threw Bunny off a little bit and definitely ended the push before he thought it was going to be over for sure.
Okay, Terran's now moving out. No Terran supply 171 to the Protosses, just now 160. But with this push, there is a threat of a mass adept warp in, especially when you see Widow Mines and Liberators coming in. That means the Terran really wants to hold his ground. So a big warp in here might end up doing more damage than the entire Terran push. We'll have to wait and see. Although this angle for Protoss is actually horrible.
Oh god, he's just
this
walking
is actually
on top
a
of some of
complete
these Widow Mines.
disaster.
Ooh, loses his sentry there as well. This third base absolutely going to go down. The adept warp
I think
never
Bunny
occurs.
just won the game because the
you're
Warp
right.
Prism is in position with the Liberators over it. Yeah, I mean, you know, this goes to show you that no matter how good you are at your builds and macroing and teching and everything, if you don't have your army in the right position, you will just lose a fight.
Absolutely.
This was not supposed to be this one-sided.
No, and he had an army that maybe could have slowed this down a little bit. He was having a hard time fighting right then, and this was good maneuvering by Bunny. So kudos to him for this push because he's now taken out 2 of these bases. And if he can kill the rest of this game is his, and it looks like he will. Yeah,
I think we're going to see Deer tap out in a second as the rest of these units are just too strong. Colossi, though, coming in with the groove. That may allow Deer to hang on a little bit longer. But the idea of Protoss pushing out seems to be an impossibility. Whoa, Bunny, you need to chill out, man. Look at this.
Yeah. Trying to be Maru here, picking up all his units, thinking about dropping on Colossus.
Now he's just holding half of his units in the air and the other half are doing damage on the ground.
Yeah. But his army's so big it does not even matter.
It's not pretty, but it doesn't matter.
But this was very, very well done by Bunny. Everything was very clean. Well done attacks. You know, even the siege tank attack, again, I feel like that could have done more, but the Void Rays coming in and killing the tanks out of nowhere was probably a little bit unexpected, but a good follow-up by him. Lots of Liberators being added in as well.
Bunny in beast mode here is going to try to wipe out the remaining forces. The four Colossi are really the only thing that's keeping Deer in this game.
Yeah. I tell you, once woodland friends, Deer and Bunny, mortal enemies here on Odyssey.
This is that bunny from Monty Python, The Quest for the Holy Grail. Remember that bunny?
Feels like this is more like Thumper, and this is Barbie's mom right now. You know? Because Thumper killed Barbie's mom, if I recall correctly.
Wow. GG. Bunny takes game number 1 in a very impressive showing.
So, that's kind of cool to see. A lot of people expecting Deer to, including us, to just crush through Bunny here. But Bunny's showing he's got the skills to pay those bills. And now
you are so cool.
I'm the coolest.
He's got those skills to pay those bills.
Yes.
Move your feet, dance to the beat. Wow. Bunny,
if you want to be cool, go to StarCraft school.
That's right. Bunny looked great. I hope we don't see the same kind of play from Deer there. Deer just didn't have anything in the right position. It's something we've all experienced if you played enough StarCraft where you made all the right units, but you didn't have them where they needed to be, so it didn't matter in the end.
Odyssey is actually surprisingly like one of the hardest maps to be in the right position too, with those rocks there and the weird ramps that go down to this very cornered in third. Like, you see a lot of Protosses lose in positions like this where Terran's like, ha! I've out-positioned you, you're dead.
Boy, this is game number 2, Deer versus Bunny.
You can tell them that you tried, but there ain't no going back. You'll never catch me.
Deer. That was the best intro we've ever had.
Yeah.
Now let's do it again. Ready? Another song. Hold on.
Down.
You gotta wait until it goes off in.
Shots,
shots, shots, shots, shots.
Everybody!
Bunny.
Possibly the worst song ever written by a man. I am certain that better songs
we were somewhere together when we decided that was the worst song of all time.
I
think we
quite
were in
sure
a
that we were in a bar.
Yeah, and it was too loud. And this bar specifically was full of a lot of douchebags, and we were just sitting there like, shots, shots. We're like, shots, everybody.
I'm like,
that followed only by when you're in a bar and that one song, I don't know the name of it, that goes like, tonight's gonna be a good night. And everybody starts singing along, and I'm like, I want to go home.
Good night.
I want to go home and get back on my computer.
Woo!
Yeah, that song.
Mazel tov. I don't know.
Okay, so let's see what Deer does again here. It's been pretty much established.
Is he hucking that SCV?
Huh? What are we talking about?
I think he just shift queued the SCV into a star, if I'm not mistaken. There, it was kind of light, and I'm kind of leaning back in my chair.
I thought Huck shift clicked it into a heart.
Yeah,
usually.
but he's the shift click guy. Okay, if you're making patterns, he was the OG of that.
He was the guy for that.
Before SCVs got easy mode, before it, got. Basically, like, workers got buffed, right? Now you got these sprays you can lay down and stuff.
Yeah.
No, man, Huck was, like, writing hearts. He was, like, drawing things.
He was way ahead of the curve with that.
Once when only I was watching, he shift-clicked out a middle finger at me. I mean,
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, my God, he did that. He was like, it was only Haluk. And I was like, oh, no. It's a crazy story that doesn't make sense at all.
Thank you for that, Artosis. We have 2 barracks coming down here, as well as a 3rd command center. So Bunny a little bit more interested in powering up and trying to get an edge later on. We have the Robo Bay, by the way, starting here for Deer. He didn't make a Stargate, right?
No, he did not. This is kind of interesting. He's chosen here for Robo, and Robo is actually quite good here. This map is a little bit harder to do harassments via air. Like, definitely there's areas you can fly in, but it's a big map overall, so yeah. I kind of like him mixing up here of any map, and specifically against what he is against here, the fact that it is 3 barracks just the fact that he chose to go for a Robo means that he has more resilience against this.
Yeah.
The Stargate could scout this, yes, but a lot of times you're going to like already have your third Nexus on the way. Maybe they move out with it. But anyways, it's kind of cool to see. Oh, 4 gates, so...
Oh, and an immediate Adept coming out. No Immortal. All right. He's going to try to put some pressure on here. You know, this actually could work out for Deer, considering that Bunny's getting a third command center.
Yeah.
That's basically the build that could make you the most vulnerable to something like this. The only thing that might sometimes...
Wait, is he getting a third command?
Oh my God, I'm crazy. I actually thought
Three
that...
barracks.
I thought that was just a command center with a tech lab attached to it. Sorry, guys.
Imagine if you could get Stim at your command
You know what
center.
I think I did? I think I was... For some reason, I was looking at the production tab and saw that there was a command center making, and then I, for some reason, decided that that was actually where it was over there.
Oh.
And then instead it was actually just to the natural. Sorry, guys. Tasteless dropped the ball. In this case, then, with the Warp Prism coming in, he should actually... there's something Terran can hold. It'll just depend on where the warp in is and whether or not Terran's ready in time.
Well, it's like a 4-gate play. It doesn't seem to be completely all in, but definitely very, very aggressive, a build that's been around for a bit. He's making a bunker right now, and he went 3 racks. So if this was more tech-heavy, right, if you're trying to defend like a mine, then Deer's going to be fine against that. But against this many units, it's going to be a little bit harder for him to actually break through, I would say.
Okay, the Warp Prism is in range of the Marine shots here.
Ooh!
Oh!
And that is a big advantage for Bunny. The fact that he lost that Prism is really painful. You see him remaking it immediately, realizing that he needs to get some sort of harassment done.
Deer is actually not exactly in great condition here.
No. If he goes 0-2
You
against
had
Bunny,
one job, Samuel Tully. You had to keep that Warp Prism alive. That's how the rush works.
Yeah.
When I first saw him set up the Warp Prism in that position, I was kind of scratching my head. I thought, okay, maybe I'm not seeing the range correctly here, but then it just got shot down.
Yeah.
Wow, if he gets a scan off and gets that Observer, I don't even know what to say. I think Bunny's just won the game, man. He is doing such a good job so far.
He's got the Dragon Glass, Tasteless.
He does.
I mean, you don't really need that to kill a deer, but...
It's a little bit overkill.
Pretty tame, but...
Like, you could use a blunt rock if you wanted to. It's
yeah,
a deer.
really.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can catch it,
yeah.
thing's dead.
Thing's flighty. Half the time they just run in front of your Jeep and you hit it anyways. You don't even want to kill it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always hitting
You want to
deers
take
in my
on deer,
Jeep.
just get some headlights and you're basically set.
That's good. Just get some headlights.
Get some headlights, man.
Deer's like, no, it's my natural enemy. It's like Widow Mines just run up with their weird spotlights that show you which way they're facing because they're round.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Terran stimming forward, and the army is not all attacking at the same time. The Immortal was sleeping. The narcoleptic immortal. In fact, he's not an immortal. He's immortal.
Oh, my.
He's a-mortal.
Mortal. Well, hopefully he goes for multiple mortals here because just one is not going to be enough to hold on against all this bio. Going into Colossus Tech from here, still on 2 bases, so this game isn't like over or anything.
No,
Definitely Bunny has the advantage here, killing that early Prism. All the tech is a little bit later here for his opponent, and he gets to make this 3rd base rather easily. Based on what we see from Deer, he's planning on taking a 3rd base here most likely. I do really like that he's going Glaives.
Right,
Right,
I think he has to.
Yeah, he needs like a ground pounder army where if he gets attacked by bio, even if it's a strong bio force, and in fact, even the change to charge I like slightly more, especially if they have siege tanks or something.
Yeah.
Basically what you want when you go Colossus right now, because a lot of people do very powerful attacks, like oftentimes even 2 base, is something that just crushes ground armies, and you just kind of ignore the fact that they can make flying units for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you can get like a bunch of stalkers later after you have an army that can hold off all big attacks.
It seems to me like if Protoss does the build that we saw start out here, because the thing that you're rushing towards is a Warp Prism, so you can pump out Tier 1 units and try to have a bit of a boxing match there outside the Terran's natural.
Yeah.
The momentum gets a little bit thrown off if the rush doesn't work, because Protoss didn't tech to any of those other core units like Immortals or Colossi or Disruptors as fast as they could have.
Yeah.
Or they don't have Oracles, for instance. That's actually why we saw Bunny. It might have looked random or impulsive, but it wasn't when he stimmed and ran up there without any medevacs over the army.
Yeah.
Because he knew he could probably get a few more pot shots off on the Protoss, and he did. But let's see how this next attack works here for Deer. With Colossi as a factor, well, I was going to say he could actually get a siege position here and just chip away at this, but instead he's going to dive right on top. Keep in mind, most of Bunny's army is actually dropping into the main right now.
Yeah, he should be able to win this game if he can hold on against this army and actually eliminate it. Multiple Widow Mines in here are going to make it extremely hard for Deer to continue to move forward. Meanwhile, oh, wow. I get,
Whoa.
He must have unloaded and had, I mean, those pylon cannons must have really wrecked him there to lose all that.
Okay, good juggling here with the Warp Prism and the Colossus. As long as those Colossi are alive, he's okay, and they're not.
Well,
so he's not okay, and he's running away now.
Well, one is going to continue to micro here. It's a little bit risky considering boost for the Medivacs is going to be finishing here.
Yeah.
Just walking across the map right now. 30 SCVs went down, so that's definitely a pretty critical amount.
It's funny, I actually thought that dropped
I'm
at Bunny.
extremely
What am I
surprised
seeing?
at what I'm watching here. I don't know because
Don't try this at home, kids.
it's just a bunch of units on a move command while he micros the other Medivac, I guess, because I feel like you can boost and like kind of make sure that that Colossus at least just goes home, if not kill it.
Well, can he actually hold on over here? Let's see how these disruptor shots pan out. I feel like Bunny's kind of having a hard time with his army here.
Yeah.
Since that attack, it's sort of been all over the place.
I think that what we've seen since the Colossus attack hit him was Bunny making the incorrect decisions on where to pay attention. Like the drop in the main base, the fact that that got cleaned up when that many units were across the map, I feel like that should have done way more damage, you
Well,
know?
it seems like whatever our observer was looking at was not where Bunny's screen was at the time.
It seems.
Okay, Bunny's probably going to have to back off. At the same time, though, it's hard for Protoss to actually push out and do damage to Terran. Terran has leaned so hard on Deer right now that Deer's having a tough time. I have to say, I don't mean to be harsh on Deer, but I thought he was going to bring better games.
For his fans?
For his fans.
Or... But
So
is he
so that we
trying
could cheer
hard
for
to
him?
do that?
So that we could cheer for him?
That's really what you got to ask yourself, is how hard they're trying for that purpose.
There you go.
Is it a means to an end or an end to a means?
An end to it means for sure. We have another push coming up here. Now, Liberators are with this army, but the Disruptor can try to counter this army that's on the ground. Oh, no, it can't. Now, if it's dead. Ooh,
Still
great
a good
connect.
hit, but he doesn't have enough units here. He's standing underneath like 3 liberation zones. Pretty rough.
Oh, if he gets that Warp Prism. Nope, the Stalkers managed to warp in. I'm not clear on if there's enough to actually heal this on the low ground. The Liberator does go down, so it's just his infantry. But I think with the next few warp ends, it's not going to be enough for Terran to seal the deal. Deer barely hanging on, though, in this game.
And you know what? That I'm seeing the same thing as we saw in Game 1. And the thing is, we're oftentimes a bit critical on Bunny because
this is the GSL, and
yeah, I mean,
it's the hardest tournament in the world.
Certainly. And, you know, we don't really consider him to be a top 5 Terran or something. But so far in this series, both these games, he could have even done better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like,
This could be going much worse here for Deer.
yeah, both games he's doing very well and winning.
It's strange because I always...
But he could have like crushed both these games. Crushed them.
It's interesting because I'm so used to thinking of Deer and Classic in the exact same skill set, the same tier of Protoss players.
Deer and Classic, yeah.
But it seems like
top 5-ish.
Yeah, but it seems like they're actually a pretty big difference in skill, though. Then again, Time is a completely different Terran as well.
Yeah, Bunny definitely has a lot more experience than Time, especially in a situation like this. Okay, so he's moving up right now, and he's doing the sneaky thing of coming in from the bottom with his Liberators. So getting into such a position you can't even walk up this ramp.
Oh, wow, he's going to get that. No, he's not going to get that one Disruptor. However, the rest of this army is basically cut off from helping out. Medivacs are actually quite low on energy, so they don't have enough to heal continuously. I don't know if Protoss has enough time to try to wait for that to be milked out, though.
I'll tell you, that is just about
GG.
that.
There it is. Bunny wins 2-0.
Wow.
Meaning we have Classic versus Bunny coming up next.
Bunny, normally a vegetarian, but eating venison tonight.
Well, Bunny may not even have a chance to play against Time if he can keep this up. Deer definitely looking discouraged, and I can't blame him.
No.
That was some lackluster performance compared to what we're used to seeing him pull off.
Bunny, he played well in both these games, but again, there was like these little things that we know that Bunny can do better. Like that. I mean, I'm impressed. Maybe he can beat Classic.
We'll see. And we'll be going to that match in just a little bit, so don't go away. We'll be back soon at the GSL.
They